All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to another Showdown breakdown. Thursday night football. Steelers at the Bengals. 44.5-point total. Steelers, 5.5-point road favorites in this one. And Bobbywow, for me, it's the official beginning. I'm not counting last week. The official beginning of the Joe Flacco sling it era on the Bengals. What do you say?
Thank God. Okay, thank God we don't have to deal with Jake Browning on the slate. Actually, for what it's worth, Flacco looked pretty good last week too. I think we can count it and feel okay about it.
Oh, what do we know about Flacco? He's going to sling it. He doesn't care. He's having fun out there. He already did his thing. And that makes this game interesting from a lot of different angles. So let's get right into the matchup sheet here. And, we'll take a look at the Bengals, what they did last week and what they did with Flacco, right? So starting with the running backs last week, it was mostly Chase Brown. Samaje Perine worked in a little bit more than he normally does, almost 46% to 53%. So is that something to monitor, Bobbywow? What do you think?
Probably not. I'm not reading too much into it. I think at the end of the day, they're still getting beat pretty good by the Packers. And, it's a good defense, maybe just trying to mix things up and more of a pass-heavy approach. I think this game profiles a much more competitive one. And I think in a competitive game, Chase Brown is going to see the bulk of the work.
Yeah. Is this the game where Chase Brown finally, crosses the 10-point barrier and has
You're giving away my secrets early. He's my guy, man. He's
all right,
my guy tonight. No,
I like it.
He is, but I do think it is the game where Chase Brown finally becomes fantasy relevant again. He did score a touchdown last week, but I think fantasy relevance continues to climb here tonight.
I'm just going to answer this by saying, one of the things I always say when I do these videos is make sure you hit the notification bell so that when we go live, you're notified. But certainly you can just wait for links and hope to figure it out. Or you could click the old free notification button here on the DFS Army YouTube channel, and it tells you when we're going live. It will notify you. That's why it's notified. That's why it's called the notification button. You get notifications about when videos are happening. All right, sorry about that. Little side note there, Bobbywow. I love it. I like that I'm digging into your sneaky plays early in this one. Let's take a look at the tight end situation for the Bengals here. Everybody's hurt. Gesicki just went on IR. I don't even know who they're using at this point. Looks like
Noah Fant is the guy here.
Yeah. So Fant is the guy. Drew Sample is kind of, what he is, a showdown turd. Tanner Hudson, also a showdown turd. Tanner Hudson seems to be that showdown turd, though, that he could get you. I'd say more than Sample. It's Tanner Hudson.
Yes, I agreed more than Sample, but Fant definitely the number one.
Yeah. Wide receiver group. This is telling, everyone. 26% target share from Flacco to Jamar Chase last week.
Hudson but a healthy, is out, by the way.
What's that?
Hudson is out, though, this week, by the way.
Oh, he is out?
He
okay, there we go.
I believe.
Oh, even more Noah Fant.
Even more Noah Fant and Sample, showdown turd.
I think Hudson, everybody misses Hudson. I think Hudson was winning us some preseason contests earlier this year, but a healthy 17% target share for T. Higgins last week. Not bad. Joe Flacco is not like your typical backup quarterback that only throws to the WR1. He's a real quarterback that knows how to check down to other wide receivers. And Yoshi Voss was in there virtually every single play. And he wound up with a 9%. And then you know what else? No one else even got in the game. So it's those three wide receivers. I think they have to add a fourth because of the injuries to the tight end, though. There will be times when there'll be a fourth guy out there. Maybe it's Charlie Jones, Bobbywow. I don't know.
Could be. I'm not. I don't know about that. I'm not going to have too much of a WR4 here.
Yeah, probably don't need to worry about it. There will be somebody out there, though, with all these tight end injuries. They're just going to need to put someone there. But that doesn't mean anything. More importantly, though, all three of Jamar Chase, Higgins, and Yoshivas, getting usage last week. I think we should expect more of the same here, Bobbywow. What do you say?
Agreed. Yep. Agreed. This is going to be the Jamar Chase show. I know Flacco slings it. He'll spread it around a little bit. To me, it's all about Jamar Chase, though. But with Flacco, that's why they brought old man Flacco in. I'm trying to remember. There was a quote that Flacco had about Jamar Chase coming to him, asking about going off script. It is a riot. But at the end of the day, this is going to be Jamar Chase's offense, and they're going to find ways to get in the football, even if it means some shorter routes.
I think you have to bet the Bengals plus 5.5.
I think you do as well.
Yeah.
I think you do as well. At home.
Yeah. Against a not that great Pittsburgh offense. I'm leaning.
And can I say this? Please correct me. I think a not so great Pittsburgh defense for the first time in a long time. They are overrated. I feel like there's a lot of hype about the Steelers defense that it seems unfounded to me. I think they do have a good amount of sacks this season, but the yardage numbers, the points per game numbers, all relatively below average this season.
Yeah, nothing special. And certainly would be better at home than on the road. Everything about this, is a reasonably decent situation for the Bengals offense to finally have a good game with a more competent quarterback than what they've had since Burrow went down. So I like it. I'm intrigued by this one. I'm really curious to see how the ownerships fall, and if the ownerships if what we're saying right now is the chalk thought process or not. We'll figure that out.
Yep.
All right, let's shift gears to the Steelers side and see what they've been up to. So obviously Caleb Johnson has been almost relegated to uselessness, even though he did get some carries in last week. 18% carry share or snap count for him. Jalen Warren's hanging out at 50% and Kenny Gainwell 33%. It's a pretty ugly three-way disaster, if you ask me, Bobbywow, at running back for the Steelers.
It is, yeah. Since Jalen Warren got hurt, he's no longer like the guy. It's kind of been a mixture of him and Kenny Gainwell, and then even Caleb Johnson getting a handful of carries. So it's ugly.
Gainwell last week at least got a ton of targets in the passing game, in the passing attack. Will that continue here? Maybe, right? Is Gainwell the most useful of all of them?
I don't know. I think you still got to lean Warren. I guess it depends on pricing. My guess is they're pretty closely priced, which to me, I would lean Warren still. But again, not super excited about any of them.
Yeah. Tight ends, again, you got the ugly duo of Janu Smith and Pat Freiermuth, and actually Darnell Washington getting more of the work than any of them.
Rumor has it Darnell Washington has leapt both those guys on the depth chart. He's the number one guy right now. Can you imagine that?
The snap share proves it out, Bobbywow. He's at 80%. He's on the field the most. And guess what? He's being targeted the most. Or at least he was targeted the most last week. Janu Smith has more targets on the season. So another grossness, but I think the chat is very much on board with Darnell being the guy that you want. All right, maybe him, maybe Smith. Least likely appears to be Freiermuth.
Yeah, 100% agree with that assessment.
Scrolling on down. Yep. The land of names we've never heard of at wide receiver for the Steelers outside of DK Metcalf. It is a basket of deplorables.
Oh, man. Oh, here we go.
Bunch of ne'er-do-wells at wide receiver. Who are these guys? I don't even know them. It's crazy. How was the team? I don't know. Who the hell?
Who the fuck is that guy? Who the fuck is that?
Scotty Miller?
Scotty Miller, there he is.
Yeah, Scotty Miller, the next highest snap count at 44%. Don't worry. He didn't get any targets. Nothing to worry about here. Homan Wilson, 25% target share. Nothing to worry about. Only 3% targets last week and on the season. Best case scenario, 1 or 2 targets.
Look, I think Roman Wilson has some appeal on this slate, especially on DraftKings, because Calvin Austin he's been ruled out, so he is not playing tonight. He's like the kind of known name. outside of DK Metcalf.
Yeah, but I think it's Scooty Miller.
he's out.
What's that?
I was just gonna say, and Austin's out. So to me, I think we do see more of these tight ends. We do see more Darnell Washington and Jonnu Smith, but also, yes, Scotty Miller, but I think Roman Wilson. It's kind of like the Luther Burden situation in Chicago, right? Where you had Zacchaeus, and then Luther Burden. Scotty Miller's like the Zacchaeus. I think Roman Wilson is the Luther Burden, where he could maybe put up a better score.
How excited are we for Luther Burden this Sunday? Just give me a scale of 1 to 10.
We're very excited.
Is that like at a 7? Are we at an 8?
I mean, look, as a Bears fan, I'm at a 9. As a DFS player looking to roster him, I'm probably not there yet.
All right, you're not there, really? Even for this
I'm not at a 9.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, whoa. All right. All right. Side note right there. All right. So that's Benny Skoranek, another guy named Blast from the Past, used to be on the Rams, if I remember correctly.
Correct. You are correct.
And then, Keyshawn Williams. So basically, it's a bunch of super turd wide receivers outside of DK Metcalf. It's going to be really tricky to figure out who the hell to even want to play on the Steelers, which is so fascinating because they're the heavy favorite. And technically, we should be using people from that team. And yet here I am, not really liking much of them.
Look, here's what we know about the Steelers. And this is why maybe you don't have to force yourself into a weird situation. They are going to run the ball. And they are going to employ quite a bit of 2 tight end sets. You're going to see a lot of Darnell Washington and Jonnu Smith on the field at the same time in heavy packages. So there's a reason they're still 5.5-point favorites, is because they don't need these wide receivers a lot.
They're throwing to those tight ends, and DK Metcalf alone is he's a touchdown guy.
It's all Rodgers needs, right?
He gets it done. Yeah, throw it up, come down with it. So we did the matchup sheet. Let's go right to the domination station and take a look at the projected ownerships for tonight on DraftKings and see what we can figure out here. So I've got the captain position sorted by projected ownership. And really? 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 What? Oh my goodness. All right. This is bananas. I mean, I didn't even look at this before we sent this out. So, Bobbywow, Jamar Chase, for sure, right? 19.3 ownership projection. Great, right? We love Jamar Chase here.
Yep.
Second on the list is Jaylen Warren. 50% snap count. How many? I mean, what's his best performance of the year? Is it like a 12? 14? I'm not even joking. I think that might be it. Like it's not 15.2. Yeah, he got a 17er once, but this guy's been hanging, he's averaging 13.
Let's not forget too, this is arguably the worst defense in the NFL, the Bengals.
Okay. But you know what?
It's gross. It's still gross.
Okay. All right. Listen, Warren can pop, but for him to be the chalkiest guy is definitely interesting for me. DK Metcalf, DK Metcalf on the list. I think that's acceptable.
100%.
Would you say DK? I don't even know if I would put him as the second best play on the slate, though.
I probably would. I probably would.
All right.
Just because it's gross.
Yeah. But then right next to DK Metcalf, Aaron Rodgers at 10%. I'm not sure how much I love that. I mean, he did have that one good game against the Jets, revenge narrative, but like this guy averages about 13 to 14 points. It's not very captain-y, Bobbywow. Can I just play it on can we do this?
Here's before we do this, because this is important. I think we need to look at the props projections and just understand how closely smashed together this is relative to other showdown slates. Typically, there is a massive discrepancy between like the highest propped guy.
Yeah. Or even just a regular projection. I mean, it's not that they're pretty much.
Even right. Yeah, either way, the prop projections are my favorite. But in any case, they're just very smashed together. And so that's an indicator that, number one, it's probably a gross slate. Number two, anything can happen. More even than normal on a showdown, where anything can always happen. But like we could see you could make a case for Aaron Rodgers at captain on a slate like this. You could make a case for Joe Flacco at captain on a slate like this.
Yeah.
They'll smash together.
Anything can happen. But yeah, these projections are super close. All right, let's go back to the P-owned here. So you got Aaron Rodgers at 10%, not your typical DraftKings Showdown captain winner. You need to put up a ceiling score to win, and I don't know, those paths for Aaron Rodgers are going to be pretty slim. Chase Brown up there at 9%, fine. I'm cool with that. I actually would be higher than that on him, I think.
He's the most intriguing leverage option to me on DraftKings at captain.
Yeah.
Just a combination of salary. He's too cheap, given his role.
John Marchese is mentioning T. Higgins down here at 4%. I think that's really good as well. And Kenny Gainwell, acceptable.
The props do not like T. I'll tell you that.
No, they don't love him. No, not for that price. The problem with T. Higgins is the price point.
Look at Chase Brown's price and prop compared to T. Higgins.
Chase Brown is
12K, 19.75. T. Higgins, 15K, 16.1.
Yeah. Listen, and this is a GPP approach. Like, that's fine. That's cool. That's a good thing.
Totally.
Yeah.
And it's 4% owned. Again, a great leverage spot, I think, for T as well.
Yeah. And by the way, the upside for a wide receiver like T. Higgins is as high as anybody outside of Jamar Chase on the slate. Like, T. Higgins has, 30-point performance in his bones. You know who can't put up 30 under any situation? What's that?
I said Benny Skowronek.
Benny Skowronek is not doing that. Aaron Rodgers is not doing that.
Didn't he have a game already this season
25.
where he would have been the highest scorer?
He's not getting you 30. He's not getting you a big score. No way.
25 gets it done here. I bet my life on it.
Yeah, if Aaron Rodgers is getting you 25 points, I'm going to eat the I'll paint my nails red for next week's show.
You'll tip the cap to A-Rod. You'll go on a darkness retreat next weekend.
Yeah, I'll go on a darkness retreat and take mushrooms and micro shroom it.
There we go.
You might never see me again. Where's Kevin now? He lives in the woods now. He's not coming home.
It's like that movie, I don't want to spoil, no spoilers, but Rodgers just ends up eating your soul.
Yeah, something like, that's right.
That's what keeps him young.
He's gonna succubus me. That's pretty much it for any kind of relevant captain. So let's just like refocus in on the captain thing for a second. Jamar Chase, best. If Jamar Chase is getting it done, though, I do want Flacco in there. So I'm going to probably WR with QB, at least for Chase. DK Metcalf absolutely can get there as well. Easy 21-point kind of like pathways. Easy pathway to 1 or 2 touchdowns. Acceptable pathway.
The thing about DK is, he's a guy that I think could get it done on a 1 or 2 big plays against this really porous secondary for the Bengals. So,
yes.
Yeah, I fully agree, 100%.
Yeah, I don't even see DK Metcalf getting like 8 receptions here. It could be 5, but 2 of them are touchdowns. A typical like Mike Evans line where he puts up a monster score. And how do you do that? He only got six targets, but he can get it done because he's DK. He can go up and get it. And the Bengals could be scoring, and they don't have much of a defense to speak of.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, Kavorka, Chase was in a split last week, but I mean,
no, he's still out. He's still out touched them 2-1.
No, I mean, they put Pirine in there, but like, this is not a new team. Pirine's been on this team for years, and they don't look at him as anything but a backup. So I'm not sure why that happened last week. Why do you think that happened last week?
It's a game script. It was against the Packers.
They were getting their ass kicked, right?
Flacco's first game against the Packers. Yeah. Game script thing. We're going to see Pirine still. It's not like Chase Brown's going to be out there for 90% of the snaps, but
let's flip the script here. You never say people suck, Bobbywow.
No, I'm reading the comment. He said he sucks.
Oh yeah. See, Kavorka, you got Bobbywow.
I don't say that.
He never does that. That's why I was so surprised. I'm like, what?
No, I would never say that.
All right, let's take a look at the flex, and this is also interesting. So, and again, on the captain side, I think we both agree it's you're the captains that I will be using, right? Chase, Metcalf, Chase Brown, little bit of Warren, way less than what's on this under on Warren compared to this. I'm not going to use Aaron Rodgers. That's just something I do, guys. You don't have to chase. You don't have to come along with me. Probably not going to use Joe Flacco either, but maybe, but probably not. And then is there like a T. Higgins? Is there anybody outside of T. Higgins beyond the Joe Flacco mark here that is somebody I need to think about? Is it Kenny Gainwell? Like, is there somebody at all that I need to think about? Darnell? Carmen says, just do Chase and DK and stop fucking around.
You could. Carmen's not wrong about that. You certainly could.
Yeah.
I think Darnell, based on his prop projection here at 3K, you probably got to at least just give it a thought, right? If you're running out 150 lineups, got to give that one a thought.
Fant
as well. I think Fant is effectively the WR3 for the Bengals right now. And Darnell, I think, is effectively the WR2.
He might be the WR2. Yeah, Darnell's like in every lineup guy, isn't he? Like this ownership. Oh wait, that's captain. All right, let's see what the flex ownership is.
It'll be high. It'll be 25%, probably 20.
Let's see here. I mean, it's 17.5. Okay, all right. I'm curious what the Steelers ownership. Yeah, heavy ownership on the Steelers at 20%. I feel fadey about that too. I hate playing high on defenses. I really do. I hate it. John is saying Darrell, but I feel like you mean Darnell. I do feel like he means Darnell. So let's take a look.
Won't need it. That's a problem. I mean, I don't think you're gonna need that salary savings because you could effectively plug in both tight ends in the flex and pay and do whatever else you want with your lineup.
There's not that many studs. I mean, is Chase somebody that should be in every lineup today? I feel like yes.
Probably. Yeah.
I feel like yes. I kind of and I'll take it in the I guess maybe you might say Chase or T. Higgins at one of them in every single lineup. At least one.
Yeah. I can't imagine making a lineup that excludes both those guys. I don't even know how you do it.
Somebody's getting there. Maybe you can't even do it. Maybe the salaries are so loose that it doesn't even matter.
I don't think you could do it.
Yeah. So without getting too crazy into like some of these exposures, so it looks like Flacco and Rodgers are the standard 50% projection in the flex. Guys, if you kind of attack the slates the way that I do, you'll wind up with at least that or a little more in the flex because I don't really use those kind of players as captains. And this reflects like, hey, 10% or Aaron Rodgers captain. So it kind of like affects it a little bit. Jamar Chase at 45%, maybe too low. Jalen Warren, Jamar Chase down at 30%. We got DK 30. Yeah, Chase Brown at 30. The Chase Bros. And here's what gets interesting. All right, Janu Smith, kicker. Not really seeing anything that bothers me. Maybe this is a little light on T. Higgins at 20%. That feels a little light.
I think that's kind of maybe what John Marchese's getting at is, look, he doesn't prop out that well. He hasn't looked great this season, but the ownership, the leverage you can get there is just crazy on a guy that we've seen break slates like this before.
Yeah, definitely. I think both kickers are super viable. This style of game, kickers can get involved. Darnell Washington is 2K. Oh,
that's the thing. Like I talked about him at captain. I honestly think you could plug him and Fant in at flex. And again, you could do whatever the heck you want with the rest of your lineup from there.
So you want a Fanta?
I mean, it's hard to get excited about Fanta, right? But on a slate in this game, you almost have to.
You gotta have some Fanta going on here. With all those injuries, yeah, you actually really do. But Darnell definitely is popping at 2K. That does open up pretty much whatever the fuck you want to do. That makes this slate pretty interesting. Let's slide on down to some other relevant turds here. Let's get into the turd zone, Bobbywow. Let's dig through it. Let's dive in there. I'm gonna get dirty. It's all right.
Let's get dirty.
Yeah, we're rolling with the turds here. Yoshivas, not really a turd, man. 10%. This guy's on the field more than anyone.
He's just not catching passes.
Yeah, Yoshivas at this price, 2,800. That's in your lineup, no?
You definitely want to at least match that exposure. I don't know that you want to be under that.
I'm massively over that. 10% is absurd.
I think Roman Wilson is probably the guy that I'm going to have the most leverage on down here.
Home on?
Yeah, I know it's gross, and I know you like Scotty Miller, but I think Roman's got similar floor but better upside here.
I think you could just have them both. I would not have more than one of them in the lineup, but like, listen, Scooty Miller's burned me before. That's why. Like, his name stands out as oh shit, Miller got the touchdown and I didn't play him.
Was that back in his Bucks days, I think?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. No, I know, I'm just affirming you. I feel that. This
is what got me on the Kendrick Bourne play. I was like, man, this guy's burned me before. I remember it. I'm not letting that happen. Not again. There's some other Ryan Miller guy. Is this the same guy? I think there's a different guy named Ryan Miller, by the way.
I think Ryan Miller's still on the team.
Yeah.
I think Ryan Miller caught a touchdown at the beginning of this season and at the first showdown slate, one of the first showdowns.
And we all thought it was Scotty Miller. And we were like, oh
God, it's Scotty again.
Man, who the hell is this guy? I'm not going to replay Conor McGregor, but imagine that I did just now. Yeah. So Bobbywow's guy is Homon Wilson. I think Yoshivas, though, at 10% is absurd. The snap count that guy gets. I'm just going to go back to it. I want to show it just so it's no other reason than 93% snap share. Bobbywow. Look at that.
It is absurd.
That's crazy.
You are absolutely correct.
Yeah. Wilson was on there 25%. So like these are not the same. But that being said, you're getting ownership discounts and you're getting all kinds of other reasonings. This is a tournament. This is a showdown. And Roman Wilson actually is a deep ball guy.
And like to your point, you said this is the first week that counts for Flacco. This team was not considering Yoshivas as an option with Browning under center. I think Flacco changes that. I think we could see Yoshivas become more involved with Flacco at QB.
Yeah. And John Marchese makes a point. This is not really a slate where you need to get that turdly. Like this, you don't need to. If Darnell Washington, the TE1 is like 2K, that just literally opens up the whole playbook basically for us in terms of whoever the hell else we want to play in these lineups.
It does. I think where you get turdly is in tournaments. You got to get turdly in tournaments because Darnell is going to be chalk.
Yeah, you force a little bit. That's where that, the Wilson, the Scooty Miller, little take a shot on Benny Skoranek. But man, the rest of that lineup better look really good because you don't want to put too many lineups on these guys. Caleb Johnson started to creep into some snaps, but man, he's not that guy. I'm not about it. Anybody else down here?
Price, maybe, but no, not at 2,400.
Yeah, no, he's not that guy. They hate him, by the way. The team absolutely hates him.
He stinks. He actually does stink.
Him blowing the punt situation that one time, like they're like, we can't even use you on special teams, bro.
Yeah, that was gross.
This guy was brought in to be the starting running back, and they were like, yeah, we're gonna give it to Gainwell.
Was he in the first round or second round?
Not a first. If he wasn't a second round draft pick,
he was a third.
He was a high third round. It's somewhere very attractive relative to the other running backs in this draft. Yeah, they brought him in to be the starter. And
it was the third round.
Yeah, but I believe it was right at the top of the third round, which is a good spot for running back. It could have even been the second round.
83rd overall.
That's the beginning of the third round, or towards the start of the third of 64. So like top 10. All right. Any other turdly player? I mean, kickers, defense. What are your takes on the kickers and defenses here? Do you have
McPherson's a beast? Okay, with Flacco, we could see some more field goal attempts for McPherson than we did with Browning. His leg is, I think, as good as anybody's in the league. He's going under owned here. I would rather have more exposure to him and less to the defenses on this slate between the two.
Okay, but if you had to play a defense,
if I had to play a defense, Rodgers doesn't turn the ball over. The Bengals have no weapons on defense. Steelers are a little more respectable under Tomlin, but Flacco, yeah, I don't know. I guess I would, if I had to pick a defense, it'd be the Steelers, but I'm not excited to play either.
Yeah. I feel like it's Steelers or bust, but I don't like that ownership on the Steelers. But again, it is Flacco. He's a neophyte. So not a neophyte, he's the opposite, but he's sort of a, let's call Flacco a kind of a question mark. Like, he had some great games. I like Flacco out there, but he's new to the team and we don't know. Does he really know the playbook? Can he have a complete meltdown?
Would it be fair for me to call Flacco a grown-up Jammo?
Yeah, I kind of
like
like
a comparison.
He is Jammo, man.
He's going to sling it. He's a little more mature, but he's going to sling it. If he turns it over, he turns it over.
That's why I'm saying it's Flacco. He doesn't give a fuck. So he throws an INT. He doesn't care. He's like, I'm having fun. I don't give a shit. We're 0-5. Like, who cares? But I actually think the Bengals, like I said, they could win this.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to do. Let's jump over to DraftKings. Let's see if we can construct what we consider to be a reasonable lineup. But before we do, I want to remind you guys that while we're sitting here talking about some DFS plays and the Showdown breakdown, the Sharp app is always working to find plays where you can make money betting on sports. What I put up on the screen here, Bobbywow, just to show you, this is live in real time today, right now. It's 12:34. And there are ARBs just sitting there for the taking on the Sharp app arbitrage betting tool. Arbitrage bets are where you look for pricing discrepancies on sports books on the same market on different sports books. So, for example, first quarter team total, San Jose Spartans, Utah State Aggies, right? It just moved. Oh, a new one just popped up. Oh, for tonight's game. How do you like that, Bobby? Wow, how about that? So let's talk about that one. Player tackles and assists. Peyton Wilson, under 5.5, over 5.5, right? I can get plus money on the over and on the under right now. Why am I doing the show? I need to go get this one, right? So right now, just sitting here talking to you guys, it's costing me at least $50, which I can make on that ARB right now. How do you do it? You simply click on the Bet Now button. It will open up the bet in the slip for you. This tells you put $200 on this side, $200 on that side. No matter which side wins, you'll either win $18 or $10. No version of this happens where you lose. I want you guys, and if you think the pregame tool is awesome, it's super easy to use, and it is. The live in-game arbitrage is even better. Bobby, wow, I made $1,200 on Sunday last week, and I only had an hour and a half.
Oh, I
had
know.
to go to a wedding.
Insane, man.
Yeah, you saw the picket, the tracker. I had to go to a wedding.
Tracker.
Yeah, I was like, dude, look at these ARBs. Why not put more money on it? Because Dad Games, it's a great question. Unfortunately, sportsbooks only let you bet a couple $100 on props before they limit your account, and therefore you can't really do that. But the in-game tool, you could put a little bit more, but there's a limit to how much money you can get down on sportsbooks when you start to win. That's why we provide this tool to other people. If I could put $1 million down on this, you would not have access to the Sharp app arbitrage tool at all. I would just keep it for me and keep printing money for myself. But instead, we have to spread the love around, right? And in exchange, you pay us a minuscule portion of your profits via the either $69.99 a month price of the tool or the $179.99 a month price if you want the full blast live in-game tool. So you make $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month, and you send us $70, $150 of that $3,000 to $5,000. We think it's a fair exchange, and we love you. So get in there, and I want you to check it out. Sharp.app/geek on the web only. Sharp.app/geek will activate a 7-day free trial of the ultimate plan where you can check out this tool, see if you like it. I've made videos explaining exactly how to do it, but realistically, you don't need a video. You click here, it opens up the book. The bet is in the slip. I don't have to. Oh, I can't bet on college football props in New York, but you get the idea. Of course, I click on one that's not there because I can't bet.
Well, you weren't even logged in. That's the part of the other problem.
Well, you
But
get
you
the
can't bet
actually.
it
If I
anyway.
logged in right now, it will log me out of DraftKings, and that'd be its own little set of problems. But you get the
And
idea.
get NBA tips off in less than 1 week.
Yeah. NBA is every single night live arbing like crazy. You're going to be able to churn massive volume using this tool. If the sports books have taken money from you, you want to take some back. This is how you lock it down to take it back. And you're right. It is so easy. A caveman can do it. It's really not that easy, though. You do have to learn. There's a little bit of skill, and there's a lot of excitement. A lot of excitement when you get an ARB down. So it's sharp.app/geek, 7-day trial. Check it out. Would I lead you astray? Would I lead you astray? Bobbywow. Would I lead anybody astray? You know me.
I don't even believe you when you say if you could make $1 million, you keep it all to yourself. I honest to God don't even buy that. I think you would still. You're about the community.
I have always been about that. You said I would leave. You said if I made $1 million, that's it. I would quit. I would never do that. Yeah, I love this team. I love hanging out with everybody, and I love what we do, talking about football. I still can't believe I do this. Like I wake up and I can't believe this is my job. All right. Sharp.app/geek. Not that. Sharp.app/geek. No S.
Sharp.slash.
Not sharp.slash. Sharp.app/geek. You get the excitement. As soon as the bet goes through, you're like, yes, that's where you get your adrenaline hit. Like when you do a normal bet, you wait for the result. Like I'm watching the game. Okay, we bet the Bengals tonight. I get a little hit from that, but I don't even need to wait. As soon as I put the ARB in, I've already got my dopamine for the moment. And then of course I need more. You get addicted to it. It's a good thing to be addicted.
For me, the best part is, you get the dopamine when you put it in, but then you also don't have to deplete all the dopamine when you lose your DraftKings lineup tonight when Fryermuth scores his first touchdown in ages. Because then you just replenish the account with the ARB. So it's a win-win on both sides.
You have just figured out the secret to keeping your DraftKings account healthy. As you lose money in tournaments, you make it back on the ARBs, and you're up for dude, all season long, I haven't had a season where I lost more money in a weekend where I lost. I've been winning, so we're profitable anyway. But on those losing weekends in DFS, I've ARB'd it back and then some. So my accounts have been green every single week. This is why you don't have to add money. John Marchese says he's 15 days into using the ARB tool in Florida, which only has one on the books sports book, and then you have to use exchanges and sweepstakes. 15 days in. $800 using the pregame tool, which costs $69 a month.
That's impressive.
That's not bad. Let's say you extrapolate that out to a month at $1,600. Oh, wait, but there's NBA, which is going to level this up massively as well. And that's really the value proposition, guys. Don't bet too much of these tackles and assists, John Marchese. That is a sketchy market that we'll get them looking at you, though. I will say that. Try to avoid that market if you can.
He wants the smoke.
Yeah, he does want all that smoke. All right, Bobbywow, let's build a lineup. I'm putting Jamar Chase up top.
Yeah, I agree. I would do it. I would throw DK in there.
No reason not to play DK. And let's get
you want your Darnell.
You got to have Darnell. Darnell.
And I think you put Fant in too. Fant or Yoshi. You make the call there.
Yeah, I think Yoshi is almost better than Fant. But Fant also, I get it. Like they're both the same guy. Let's see how much salary we have at the end. So how would we finish this off? You got T. Higgins all the way at the top. Chase Brown.
You said Flacco. You told me Flacco. If you're putting Chase in there, you're putting Flacco in.
I do want Flacco too, but we're going to run out of money. So you can't. But so if I got, you can't. At this point, you'd have to choose between Chase Brown or Flacco. You put Flacco in there, 7,400. Can he gain well? Chase can't get to Higgins. That's the problem with Higgins. He's so priced up.
And this is where your Roman Wilson play comes in clutch, right? Because
so
you swap Yoshi for him, which again is a very GPP play. And now you can get Warren in there.
Yeah.
Or Brown.
Warren, or Chase Brown. Okay, so there it is. So there is a little bit of tightness, just a little bit of tightness for salary when you play Chase up top. But if we switched it to, let's say, like a Chase Brown, that would not even exist at all. If I put Chase, I like Jamar Chase up there. So let's be real. But if I did put Chase Brown up there at his price, if we believed in that, which I don't necessarily, look, 15K at that point, you don't have to do any of this. You got 8K left. You can get Flacco's already in there. We could put Chase in the flex and then have 4,200 for another like Fant or Janu Smith type play.
I love that. I love that fantasy. I love that really lineup right there a lot.
The problem with this one is just that it's Chase Brown instead of Jamar Chase, but like this lineup works, and you're going to flip those around. This is a fun slate to build for, Bobby. I'm excited. I want to get on my DK app and just start reserving entries right now. But you know what? We'll have time right after the show to do that.
And this is why I brought up how close those projections were, whether it's raw projection, prop projection, because on a slate like this, that matters. And that means a guy like Chase Brown actually has a better chance of showing up at captain than he would, over Jamar Chase than he normally would on just like a typical slate. So I don't hate this as much as I might, as much as you might think.
Yeah. I got the best DM after the last showdown. So I'm not going to show it because it was kind of private. And it's actually two super cool things. First of all, it's a daughter and her dad that play DFS together. And that was like the greatest thing I've ever seen. So shout out to those two. I love what you're doing.
That's awesome.
It's so cute. You have no idea. So it's so cute. But when she DM'd me, she was like, Kev, I listened to you because I only do 20 max and I just locked in on one captain or two captains for two different 20 maxes. And that's all I did. And that really helped me win it this week and all this and that, right? So I'm going to remind everyone, if you are running simply 20 lineups for this and you are attacking one of these giant contests, the dollar game, the $3 play action, or anything like that, you will not win if you spread your captaincy around to a bunch of different names. You should not be looking for diversification at captain. You should be picking one or two and no more than that. Who those two are? I always get the question, Bobbywow, who should I pick if I'm going to do one? And the answer is I'm not going to tell you that. I told you already which few captains I like, and you get to pick from them and sack up. Bobbywow, what do you say about all that?
I can get on board with two. I'm probably more comfortable with maybe 3-ish, but yeah, one is tough. But I think in terms of like plus EV,
three.
I think you're right. I think it gives you the best shot.
Two at the most.
Awesome. The only thing is you with 3, you decrease your chances of taking something down, but you don't. I think you increases your chance of not losing everything.
Yeah, see, that's the wrong way to think.
I know. I'm just. I know.
Bobbywow would not do that himself. Let me
That's
tell
not
all
true.
you.
Bobbywow would do that, and that's part of what. That's the mistake. That's one of the mistakes I make. It's a trap.
You should not be doing that.
I'm being vulnerable right now. I'm trying. Okay.
So we're going to have this discussion. You should not be doing that. You cannot play DFS in the $3 play action not to lose. Let's do that.
Okay, in the $3 play action. Okay, yes.
Yeah, let's do that in our $50 entry against 50 other people, Hobie Hall style, who always shows me these amazing giant wins.
Yeah, that's true.
But those are contests with 25 people in them and higher entry amounts, so you don't have to hit the nuts. You can win those. I'm not saying there's anything wrong. That's a great skill set, by the way, to attack those, and it's a great way to play DFS. Attack a smaller one. You don't need the nuts. You can kind of win with a good score. You don't need to find the Homan Wilson turd. No one else played him. It doesn't matter in that contest, right? You don't need that. But in these, I say play to win it. Don't play to min cash, get a little bit of it back. I want you to win the tournament or nothing, 0. And then I want to see that 0 screenshot. Good advice, Geek. And you send me, I got nothing back. And I go, that's right. I hope you listened to the first part where I said you should play these, assuming you're going to lose every single entry unless you win it. But when you win it once, that pays for about 10 years worth of losing.
That's why, to me, play the 50-cent contest. Go 150 lineups if you're going to do the $3 20 max. That's my lesson in this. I can't stomach one captain, 2 captains in 20. So that's why I play 50 cent 150 instead. Basically the same entry fee.
I am cool with that as well. All right, let's shift gears to FanDuel.
A lot of girl dads here. That's fun. Right? We're both girl dads as well.
Yeah, I have 2 daughters.
I love it.
And only that. Girl dad, but that's what's so cute. It was like a daughter and her dad playing DFS together. I was like, this is the cutest thing. I have no idea, by the way, the age of the daughter. She could have been 14. She could be 28. I have no idea. Like that was the
She could
part.
be 6.
Yeah, no. She knew she was using the Dom station. Like she knew how to play DFS. So I'm like, wait, is this girl like 15? Is she 25? I have no idea. I don't know. But it was still super cute. And I hope that they are in my ear more. It was just great.
That's awesome.
Single game showdown. Oh, shout out. Birthday shout out to my boy Killer Cam, everybody's favorite DFS Army member.
Happy birthday. My God, it feels like yesterday we were doing this.
I know.
We wish him happy birthday. How was a year gone by? Holy cow. Happy birthday, Cam.
He appreciates it, and that's why we do it. So happy birthday, my man. All right. FanDuel, the Golden Duel. New rules this year, Bobbywow. MVP, same thing as Captain, but they didn't change the name of it to Captain, which I think is sketchy. I think they should have gone all in on the copy.
That's how you get sued. That's
why. See, I'm an honest person, and it's a flaw. It's a flaw of mine. And this will not be wholesome anymore, Brady. We apologize for any wholesomeness that crept its way into.
No, we never apologize for wholesome. Never, ever. Come on now.
All right, I apologize for any wholesomeness that snuck its way into this degeneracy that's happening here. All right, so ownership at captain on FanDuel looks pretty much the same as DraftKings.
Same.
Yeah. All right. Well, mostly Jamar Chase, which is cool.
God, how is Chase Brown so low? I know he's a little bit higher priced.
Chase Brown should be higher than that for sure.
Flacco should be too.
Joe Fleazy, 10%.
Look at his price. Flacco's $2,100 less than A-Rod. That's wild.
Dude, Aaron Rodgers is the one that shouldn't be there. What the hell is going on? But I guess it's this Bengals matchup. So
the Bengals are so bad, man. Their defense is so bad.
Defensively, not very good. You and I, all right. Let's just between us, you, me, and 370 people who are watching this live, and another 5,000 people that will watch this before the game starts. Just an intimate group. Who are you using at MVP on FanDuel this week, Bobbywow? Like, you can choose 3 and no more. Who are the 3 that you are just building around?
In a perfect world, and I think it's a real world also, I am hedging my DraftKings plays with FanDuel plays, because I don't think, number one, I don't think it's like it's one or the other has to win in that scenario. I think you'd be successful that way on both. And that's partially why I would go with Flacco and Chase Brown as the top 2 dogs in my FanDuel MVP spot, with
Flacco,
A-Rod mixed in as well.
A-Rod.
Chase Brown will be the highest.
Chase Brown
by Flacco, and then I'll be overweight on A-Rod as well.
All right.
Yeah. Anytime you see this ownership on QBs and running backs on FanDuel,
you got to go over.
I know it's a different format, but you got to go over it.
Yeah. Flacco, Rodgers, Chase as the primaries. All right. So secondarily, I gave you three more slots for sub 10% in your mix. Where are you going with is Jalen Warren one of them? I mean, he's very high owned.
That's the problem.
And yet he stinks. Or he doesn't stink, but like he hasn't put up big numbers at all. Nothing to justify this. But then it's the Bengals, and you could get it done against the Bengals even if you haven't been getting it done all year. I don't know what to do.
He'd be the next one I'd add in there. Warren. He'd be number 4.
Warren, Metcalf, touchdown scorer, fine. Higgins, touchdown guy, can get it done. Do we even need to go beyond that? Is Kenny Gainwell, maybe Kenny Gainwell also?
Yeah, you could, just because it's a little bit more of a dramatic price difference between him and Warren on FanDuel. Yeah. It looks like, at least. But yeah.
Trey Hendrickson is out, by the way, for the Bengals tonight. So
yeah, really the only player worth mentioning.
Yeah, more offense. I guess, opens things up, makes it easier for the Steelers, I guess. Kenny Gainwell, maybe a little taste of Gainwell.
A little taste of Gainwell, you could.
Yeah.
Gross though, man.
All right.
Chase Brown, to me, Chase Brown is the red flag going off in my head with 6% ownership. Like that's a spot you want to be getting some leverage on. And he very well could flop, but my goodness, at 15.9 starting running back, 6% ownership against what's been a relatively average Steelers rush defense.
Yeah, I mean, Dixon is saying, why not Drew Sample? I mean, we did cover this a little bit, but just I think we like Noah Fant, and I think Drew Sample is a super turd of showdown proportions. Like, yeah, okay, you can get a touchdown. Drew Sample can get a touchdown. He's gotten touchdowns during a showdown. We agree on that?
Yes, yep, absolutely.
He's done it. He's done it on a showdown. He's fine.
He's done it as the TE3. He'll be the TE2 tonight. So yeah, absolutely, he's definitely in play.
Do I love it? No, it's going to take a miracle touchdown to him and for him to be in the conversation. And that's the only question mark. It's going to take a miracle touchdown for him to get there. But he could, and that's how you win showdown. So it's fine. But it's just not somebody I'm building around. He's going to go into my domination station spinner as pluck this turd every once in a while and hope that it plucked it in the right spot. That's how I'm going to play that guy. Whereas a Darnell Washington is somebody that probably is going to be in a lot of my lineups, like a lot of them. Him and Noah Fant will be in lots of lineups for me, like real all over the place. Like basically every version of a lineup that I kind of like will be covered with one of those guys in it, but not so much with Sample. We'll just get a little here and there.
Darnell, man, this Washington hype's getting me really nervous.
A little too much hype?
Everyone. No, not too. I don't know. I don't want to say too much, but just a lot of love for a guy that. What has he actually done?
Imagine it's Jonnu Smith. We talked about Darnell, and it's really Jonnu.
But honest to God, like let's take one step back here. Yes, he got targets last week, but no, he didn't even have a good game. He caught 3 passes.
Yeah.
For 60 yards. I don't even know if that gets you there on this slate.
Probably doesn't.
So
Fant,
much more with caution. I think Fant is a better play than Darnell Washington. If I had to pick one tight end, it's Noah Fant.
I'm just going to mention here the price points. So it's important to also differentiate here. Darnell and Fant are the same price. So on DraftKings, Darnell is a massive discount player. And that's, I think, one of the reasons we kind of like him. Like for 2K, 3 for 40, that probably is enough.
There's 3 for 60, yeah, probably enough.
3 for 60 is probably enough. It is noteworthy that Darnell and Fant are the same price on FanDuel. And so that advantage that you were getting from, like here, the prop for Darnell is 4.8, Fant is 5.7, so significantly better prop.
They're not the same price.
Oh, no, wait, whoa, 2,400 versus 5K. So no, there is a real discount there. I have this sorted a certain way, and I didn't realize that. I was not looking at the salary.
I'm just saying, since he has no other guy, Fant is the guy. Like Pittsburgh has Freiermuth, who is an afterthought at this point. They also have the guy they traded for in Jonnu Smith.
Yeah.
All 3 are healthy. So, like, I'm not trying to discount Darnell. He's going to score a touchdown. I'm going to get hate mail here. But the guy he got 3 catches last week, 3 catches the week before, and then hasn't had a single catch outside of that. Like let's just be careful.
I'm looking at some salaries here too. Very interesting. It is Jonnu Smith and Fant that have the same projection. So at 5.7 and 5.7 for Jonnu Smith and Fant. Where the hell's Fant? Why am my
Fant's
eyes
5K.
Oh, I need to sort by salary. This is just, oh no. Misclicked.
Oh man, this is
just going all wrong.
It's off the rails.
This has gone completely off the rails. Get a misclick in there for the extra disaster. All right, let me sort by salary. Let's get this right. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, Jonnu Smith 5.7. Fant 5.7, back-to-back in salary and back-to-back in projection. So these guys are about the same kind of play. Yeah.
I would give the edge to Fant just because, again, he outside of, what do we talk, it's Drew Sample. He's the only healthy tight end, whereas Pittsburgh has 3 legitimate, decent tight ends.
I think you have to favor Fant here as the best one.
If I had to pick.
Yeah. And I'll favor him over Darnell and all that shit too. And by the way, it could be the shift. You're right. It could be like we think it's Darnell and then Jonnu Smith has a big game. And you're like, wow, that's not that shocking. He'd been doing it up until last week. Yoshivas somebody mentioned, and he's another one. A pay down option that is going to open a lot of stuff up for us. How cheap is Yoshi?
Cheap, 3,600, 3,800.
Yeah, I mean that opens up everything for you too. The projection is terrible. Like, let's not go crazy, but he can get a touchdown. Kenny Gainwell at 66. Everything's affordable here. Gainwell at 6,600. Really cheap kickers. T. Higgins at 86.
McPherson, man, that he could end up in the nuts. Two long field goal makes. That's the thing about him. You can make 2 55-yarders, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, he's got 2 field goals, but he's in the nuts. What's going on?
Could it be a situation where, the Bengals move the ball, but end up with a lot of field goals, and then McPherson ends up with five kicks, and we end up being like, holy shit, this was that
That's
time.
what the Steelers have done. That's really the only claim to fame for their defense this season. They've given up a lot of yards, but they're bending out, not breaking. So I think that is definitely a realistic possibility.
Should we take a couple shots on EMAC, captain / MVP? I think it would take 5 field goals.
I'm probably captain. Yeah, I think you could take some shots. Not as excited about MVP.
I feel it's worth a couple shots.
But you could, yeah. If you want to get silly, he's the most intriguing guy for me to get silly with. That's like that we haven't talked about yet, off the radar.
Yeah, captain kicker wins like 3% of the time. So maybe now.
Yeah, McPherson's a beast, man. That dude's so good.
Yeah. Yeah, he's really good. He hasn't been good this year because the fucking team can't score.
He's just isn't getting chances, yeah.
Yeah, like they don't have scoring opportunities, but like in the past, he's been a beast kicker. You know what my favorite kicker is, though, in all of football? Brandon Aubrey on Dallas. That dude is a 15-point machine.
He's a stud.
I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why. All right, let's make a. I didn't open FanDuel. That's always fun. So let's try to do that real quick, and then we'll try to get it together. But we already talked about it. So we like the running back, both of the quarterbacks as potential MVPs on captain, and our pay down options here on FanDuel. And we sort by P owned. Everybody see here a little more Gainwell. I think it's really fascinating that Jamar Chase is that much more expensive than T. Higgins, like massively different. I think you got to play a little more Higgins here as well. We didn't talk too much about Higgins, but his price point makes him actually more interesting to me than if it wouldn't have been like that. I'm looking to see if there are any special contests. There are not. So let's throw on FanDuel here. And let's put one together, Bobbywow. But who is your? We're gonna go Chase Brown for this one. How about that instead of Jamar Chase? We did Jamar Chase on the last one.
That feels like the balanced way to go.
Yeah. So if you start with Chase Brown,
someone's asking about a.
Yeah. Oh, this NBA is another thing. Octavius Bailey, not a code. If you want to add NBA, the best thing to do if you're an NBA subscriber, DFS Army, obviously NBA is starting days away, and you're gonna want it. So I'm advising everybody in the Discord, hit up the staff, Uppers Lad or Texan, and let them know that you want to upgrade, and they'll set you up to do a kind of like an easy upgrade from NBA, NFL only, for example, to full VIP where you have everything, and they'll prorate it and do whatever the hell they need to hook you up. So do that in the Discord. I know I mentioned in the last one, but you're all going to want to do it. You don't have to buy 2 different full subs. Just get the one VIP. It'll cover everything. All right, so you start with Chase Brown. Got to have Flacco. Who's our pay down option to make it work? Who's our favorite pay down option to make it work, guy? Is it Fant? Is it who do we feel the best of? Evan McPherson, EMAC?
I think you go Darnell, right? That's kind of been the theme here.
I almost think like we're doing a little too much Darnell, but okay.
He's the cheapest viable on FanDuel.
Yeah, but not the sexiest play in the world.
No, definitely not.
You got Janu and Noah Fant. I don't even know if we needed to go all the way down there, but let's see. Who else do we really want in the lineup? Of course, I would like to have Jamar Chase in there, right?
Probably DK Metcalf, touchdown guy, Jamar, and then Fant.
That ain't bad.
I like that lineup, yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind that. No, it came together. I love it when the salaries work out and like that, and, in live real time. That's always extra fun. But guys, this is a fun one tonight.
Oh, we just lost your mic, Geek.
Shit. All right.
There we go. We're back. We're back.
So I don't know what the field is thinking tonight. If they're thinking the Bengals will be more competitive, the game does strike me as that, where now Flacco, a full week and a half into the system. So he's going to be more integrated. He should be more ready to go. I like the situation for the Bengals offense in this one. I think this is finally, I agree with you, Bobby. I think might be the game where Chase Brown doesn't stink. Could be wrong. We didn't talk about Pirine though. Again, he's another turd. I think that has to be accounted for just based on his snap count last week, but I'm not expecting that much.
Yep. Yeah, more so on DraftKings and FanDuel, but yeah, definitely want some shares if you're rolling out like 150 lineups.
Yeah. All right, guys. That's
one quick interesting stat here. I just for what it's worth. I know we don't love TD props because you can't bet the other side, but first most likely to score, the only guy it's not plus money is Jaylen Warren at minus 135.
Okay.
Jamar Chase is fourth most likely to score. So Chase Brown is second and DK is third.
Interesting.
And then another big gap from Jamar Chase to Kenny G.
Okay. Oh, Kenny G. Okay. But yes, those are all names that need to be accounted for, especially on DraftKings, on FanDuel, where touchdowns are king. So Kenny Gainwell also has to be in the mix as well. Is Connor Hayward playable? I'm going to say no. Connor Hayward? Why? I didn't even see his name on the matchup tool.
Tight end 4. Is he the fullback technically? I feel like he's a tight end for the Steelers. I would say no.
Yeah. His best game of the year will probably come with his second game of the Bengals with the Bengals tonight. So, all right, that's going to do it for this one, guys. Remember, if you want to get signed up at DFS Army, check out all we have to do. NBA around the corner. My code is Geek. You can get to dfsarmy.com, sign up for VIP, and start crushing using the Domination Station Optimizer to attack everything in this slate. Get our cheat sheets, our notes, all our great stuff. Also, for those of you who want to take money from the sports books and bet as advantage bettors, not sucker bets, but advantage bettors, that's Sharp app, sharp.app/geek. Gives you a week free trial of the ultimate plan there where you can do arbitrage bets like John Marchese here and Bobbywow and everybody who likes making money.
Let's go.
Helmets up, everyone. Good luck tonight, and we'll see you back here on Friday at 5 for the for Tournament Tactics with Bobbywow, Burns, and Josiah. Good luck, everyone. Take care.